I'm frozen. Good morning, Saturday. As you see, this morning I'm alone. My wife and my half, she needed to go to work. The baby is not with us. But anyway, so how do you feel this morning? And honestly, I realized that this is my first single show. And I just spoke with someone, with Mira, Krasimira, and I said, my God, this corona is stretching all of us. Anyway, I wanted to ask you, how many of you remember the challenges this week? How many of you make the challenges this week? The challenges from Barbara, the challenges from Pat, and how many of you went to the bookstore yesterday and buy the notebook? How many of you write 5 things they admire? And how many of you ask their loving or their peer group what they see in themselves? This morning on my walk, I was listening to Tony Robbins, and he was talking something. He was talking about the standards. In case to get our standards, it's like in case to increase our life, we need to increase our standards. And this is like a muscle. Everything what we do, great, Joan. Hey, she did it. Increase everything, all the habit, everything what they give us, all these coaches, it's about us and to create the habits, and with these habits to increase our standard. Anyway, this is the last, today and tomorrow are the last 2 days, which we are going to be live on public. And then on Monday, we are moving to the closed group. For those who are interested and want to spend 70 cents a day, if you think what you can buy with 70 cents a day, for those who are interested to join the group, it's only 30 euro for 40 days, and all the money they go for charity. And I will post the link after, so you can see where to go. And anyway, don't hesitate calling me or asking me any questions. Today's topic is mindfulness, and the habit of thinking is a habit of action. And let me introduce our guest today from Code, Germany, our warm person, Mira Kondova.
Good morning, Krasimir. Good morning, everyone on the call. I'm so glad to have the honor to be with you again. By the way, it's not that cold in Germany yet. In fact, we had a wonderful autumn. I like what you said, that the habit of thinking dictates the habit of actions. And if your habitual actions are something that doesn't bring you the life experience that you would love to have, that means something needs to change there. And some of you, as I can see in the chat, are already people that I know that have been with us in the previous communities, and they can already tell. Good morning, Sabine. Good morning, Johan. Good morning, Steve. You can already tell that what I'm going to talk about, it's the mind, and it's the mind, and it's about the mind. Mindfulness this morning. I
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Before to continue, I want to invite all the people to take an action, to comment, to ask questions, and be participants. Participate in your life, because right now what you're doing, this is a part of your life. This 30 minutes or 40 minutes you're going to watch, this is a part of your life. So participate, ask a question, take advantage of Mira, take advantage of everything what is now, right now, not before, not after, right now. So be participants. This is for me.
Yes, I encourage you. Let's make this interactive rather than being like a lecture, because you can take more when you have your questions answered, and even questions that arise as I talk. Mindfulness, why we need it, what is it? And I'm sure most of you already are meditators. You have incorporated meditation in your daily routine. If you haven't, that's one way to go. But I want to approach this from a little bit of a wider perspective. We meditate 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then we get up, we go through the day. Mindfulness, in the beginning I was thinking to myself, why do they call it mindfulness? What is the mind full of? But in fact, I have figured it out for myself. It's not about the mind being full, it's rather about the mind being empty.
Mira,
And when
I
they,
was
yeah.
asking myself the same question, and I get exactly to the same conclusions.
Yeah. Good morning, Mary. Yeah, the mind to be empty of the habitual thinking, because let's face it, we all emerge from childhood with various biases of our character, and various conditioned limiting beliefs that we needed to adopt to cope with necessarily imperfect parents. And that is all like a record playing in the background. So the mind doesn't know anything better to do than to replay the old recordings. This is what I call noise. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. The question is, does it serve you, and how does it serve you? Mindfulness to me means to be mindful of, which in other words, to be aware of what my mind is telling me right now. And there are two states of the mind that I figure out after reading all those books: the healthy mind and the unhealthy mind. Good morning, Maria. Yeah, in mindfulness is when you train yourself to enter the healthy state of the mind. What is it, healthy state of the mind? Well, that's when you are alert, you are focused, but at the same time in a very relaxing way. The healthy mind is very stable, and it gives you happiness as a default state. I read somewhere that happiness is the default state of the healthy mind. um, what does it mean? How does it translate to me personally? Well, that's when everything that happens within me happens in a slower motion than habitually. Good morning, Jean Pierre. When everything that happens within me happens within a spacious space, more broader space, everything that I experience, I have time to digest it, to become aware of it and digest it. To give you a metaphor, that would be like if you have a big saucepan or a big vessel that is full of water and some sediments like sand or soil. And when you agitate this thing, when you constantly agitate this thing, then the water becomes muddy. Good morning, Elena. Good morning, Olga. And so when you keep agitating this saucepan, this vessel, this container of water and sediments, then you can't clearly see into it. And when you stop agitating it, then naturally what happens is that everything calms down, goes to the bottom, and the water becomes more clear. And the same with the mind. When you interfere and you train and when you command your mind to stop agitating you, you can have a crystal clear focus, and at the same time you can have a calm. Why is it beneficial to you? Because you can then be more mindful, more aware of the choices that you make. You can interrupt the habitual element of thinking, acting, thinking, acting, thinking, acting, feeling the same old way. And the thing is that you are either in a healthy state of mind or in an unhealthy state of mind, even without being aware of it. So when you listen, when you are on the pilot, autopilot, when you are on the automated side of things, then what actually happens is you listen to a mind that is telling you the same old story, that is playing the same old record of, well, you know me, I'm not from that kind of family. Well, I did things I shouldn't have done. You see, I fail. You see, I don't have it. I'm not there yet. How many times did I try? And that's the same old record. That's what I call noise. That's noise that has nothing to do with you because it's your conditioning. It's not you. You have thoughts, you have feelings, but you are not equal to them, and you should not identify with them if you don't want to suffer unnecessarily. So, what we want through mindfulness is that you take the initiative and you get out of the passive state of receiving the chatter, the noise of a conditioned mind, that's an unhealthy mind. And we want you to begin telling your mind what is it that you would rather choose to think, how is it that you would rather want to act, who would you rather be, and how would you rather feel about yourself. But before you can do that, you have to stop agitating the saucepan. You have to stop agitating your emotional system with the chatter of a very, very, very unhealthy mind that you somewhere on the road developed, adopting, coping, um, the experience that you had. We learn what we experience as children, and now we're not that children anymore, but we never updated, never upgraded our emotional system, because the emotional system has been dictated, has been determined by the habitual thinking that we developed as children. Now, mindfulness means that you will be able to begin first to stop the race, to stop the mind chatter, and to begin to slow down the way you are, slow down the way you breathe, slow down the way you think. Just step out of the rat race and become more mindful, become more aware of, wait a minute, what is it that I feel? And what is behind what I feel, which is usually some suggestion of my inadequacy. How is it that I didn't, but I should have? How is it that I don't like, but I would prefer? And in fact, when we uh, calm down, we have the chance to become a better friend to ourselves, to step out of self blame, self shame, and self criticism, which is normally what the mind chatter is all about. The Buddhists, they call this noise, they call it the monkey mind, just like a monkey that just jumps from branch to branch and brings chaos within your perception, because you know that perception is projection. You want to rather step in and say, now, this is the way I choose to think, this is the way I choose to act, and this is how it is going to be, and the mind will listen to you. The mind, another metaphor for the mind is, and I probably have already mentioned it before, but repetition is a good thing because the mind learns through repetition. You know, the mind is like a classroom full of children. When the teacher is not there, there is a total chaos. Everybody's jumping and everybody's shouting and everybody's doing whatever they like, and it's a total mess. The moment the teacher comes in the room and gives commands, everybody sits down and everybody's focus begins working. But who is supposed to give the commands? You. But while you are mm, thrown into the rat race of the mental noise and the repetitive suggestions, you're probably on the other side of the unhealthy mind, where you are on the receiving end and you're listening to your mind. What we want to do is that you go to the healthy mind, where you are on to the active end and you are telling your mind what to do. In both cases, your mind will do its job. Your mind can be a wonderful servant, but it can be a terrible master. That's why you need the practice of mindfulness, not only when you meditate for 20, 30 minutes in the morning or in the evening, but rather as you go through your day. As you go through your day, you want to train your mind to slow down, to, to crystallize, so that you can have a more vivid picture of where you are emotionally, and how you want to shape that particular moment, that particular um, instant. Good morning, Ramona. Yeah, why you want to do that? Because, as I said, when you are calm and focused and at the same time relaxed, you can have better choice. And the better choice always begins with becoming a better friend to yourself. We all know how to be a good friend to a friend. When somebody that we love is feeling down, we the first thing that we'll do is to approach them with encouragement, to approach them with warmth, and we rarely do this to ourselves, do we? And when a friend is in an emotional turmoil, we approach them with acceptance, no matter what they did, no matter how bad they believe they failed. Because, come on, let's face it, to make errors and to fail and to screw things up, that's our human nature. And even if you don't believe it, we all do that all of the time. And that is not a reason to feel down. That's not a reason to be so harsh on yourself. And you would never blame a friend that you dearly love. Even if they did the most unacceptable thing, you would begin searching for what is the good ground within themselves. What is it that they are good at to begin with? And we rarely do this to ourselves. Why? Because of the noise, because of the mental chatter, because all of the time we are on the receiving end of an old record playing over and over and over.
Mira,
And yeah,
I listen to you and everything sounds perfect. I've been listening before and everything sounds perfect. I want to ask all the people how many of them they try to do meditation every day, how many of them they failed, how many of them they say, what did I do now? Why I do this to my friends? Why I do this to me? I supposed to meditate and things like this. Uh, what I want to ask you? Okay, I'm going to say listen, I'm going to meditate every day. I do continuously for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and then I stop. And then I remember after 3 days, I do one day, and then I stop. And then I go after 1 week again, and then I stop completely. This happened with me. I'm sure it happened with many of them, the people which they are watching us. I want to ask you something. For example, is it good to get the peer group people which together with to meditate, to discuss, and if you are very deep in your story, who you believe you are, these people to show you actually that this is not who you think you are.
Yeah. Um, in the morning community, we have this practice. We build groups within the groups, and we work, we focus upon specific tools and techniques of how to achieve this that we're talking about. And too much talking. And I would like to even right now begin and give you one little tool that makes a big difference, because I want to really give the people who haven't been to the community a taste of what is about to come. I'm talking here about mindfulness and about meditation. And you're right, Krasimir, when we begin with a new routine, there is resistance that comes up. We're going to talk about what resistance is and how normal it is, that it's a healthy state you need to just go over. But mindfulness, you can introduce into your daily routine even while you are in action. That means every now and then, when you catch yourself that you feel emotional disturbance, that's a very clear sign that you have stepped into the state of an unhealthy mind. And one routine that I recommend you using is using your breathing to interrupt the rat race and to calm down the monkey mind and give the monkey mind the task of observing your breathing, because that interrupts the automatic cycle of negative self-talk that creates the noise. That's everything but not mindfulness. So as you go through your day, you don't have time to sit down and meditate for 20, 30 minutes, although beginning your day and ending your day with this would be the perfect breakthrough for you. And many of you know that. So don't get discouraged by being resistant and just dropping it for a day or two. That's not a reason to stop. Just take it from where you left it and go on. But what I want to give you today is that this little routine of changing the pattern of your breathing. That's like when you are within action going through your day, you can do the following. You can take a breath in four steps, like cutting your breath off, like I do it now, obviously, but you don't need to be that obvious. And then exhale in the rhythm of four to make it not so much obvious. It would look like that. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I am doing it on the inside of me. That interruptive cycle is like stop, 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 stop. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, which automatically brings the wandering attention of your mind down to the present moment, which means at home. Maybe you know other different breathing patterns, but one thing is for sure, you want to use your breathing to interrupt the routine. Again, you breathe to the count of four and you cut it off into four different stages, and
How
then you
many
breathe out.
times? How many
Yeah,
times you recommend, and which time of the day? Oh, there is no.
that's every time when you feel a difficult emotion. As I said, the healthy mind is that feeling when you're alert, focused, calm, and very relaxed. If you shouldn't be in that state, that means that's an invitation, that's a sign, okay, I must have stepped into an unhealthy mind. What is the first thing, the most immediate thing that I can do? I can bring my mind home. I can take my attention and actually direct my attention to my breathing. It's like inviting my mind to come and rest on the pillow of my breath. It's like, come home, baby. It's like, stop the running. Just give me a break. That's the thing. Give me a break. That's the old record playing. And you say, 4 times I breathe in, and your mind's like, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, okay, where was I? Oh, okay, I better attend to this. That's something going on here. That's when you have your mind back to yourself. And when you do that a couple of times, the mind concentrates its attention around your intention. And you say to your mind, look, let's now spend one moment with no agenda, no plan, no intellectual pursuit, just for the sake of being without doing. That's mindfulness. You become mindful, you become aware of where you are rather than where you would like to be. That's the moment when your mind is looking at you and ready to take your command. That's when you turn from a victim to a victor because you're giving, directing, commanding, instructing your mind to work for you, not against you. To
I
break, yeah,
have a question. Do you think when you make this breathing pattern, it's good to implement the new belief after this breathing?
that's the right moment. As I said, when your mind is quiet for a short second, because that's not gonna last long. Your mind, that's its nature. It has to be like a wild horse all around, unless you are there to train it, to tame it, to take control of it. In the beginning, that will be for a short time, but with practice, these moments will become broader and broader. And what I wanted to tell you is that you're right. You're right. When you cut off the usual routine and you bring your mind home, that's the moment when you tell your mind that you are your best friend, that you believe in you, that you have the power, that you are somebody, that you are not taking no for an answer, that you have what it takes, just the same way like you talk to a friend that needs encouragement, that needs support. And that's the most important thing, because self-shame, self-blame, self-criticism, it's like cutting the branch that you are sitting upon. No matter what you have done, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how far you are yet from your ideal, right now.
You know how I see it's, maybe it's funny for all of you, but how I see the brain is like a mother with a cell phone checking the Facebook, okay? And the breathing is actually a baby next to the mom and say mom, 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 and say, and she said what? You know, she's going out of this Facebook. Say what? And then the baby say, you know, this and this, this and this. So this is the time when actually you implement and you implement your new belief, because the mom listen to the baby. Otherwise, the mom will don't listen to the baby. It's just watching Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is there. This is how it came now to my mind.
Absolutely, very good metaphor, Krasmir. It's like interrupting the old pattern. That's all that it's all about. How do you interfere with what actually is a routine? And a routine will always take you where you have always been, and that's where you don't want to be any longer. That's breaking the habit of being you. And it starts with something as simple as changing your breathing pattern. And all that it takes is that you take one simple tool, and repeat it for 21 days. That's when it gets accepted. A new neural pathway is being created. Like this, there was a joke about this Buddhist monk that went to his master and said, Master, I have been practicing with you for the last 2 years. Master, I have learned so much from you. Let me show you how many punches I know. And the master was there looking at all the different tools that the Buddhist monk was presenting. And then at the end, the master said, let me show you one punch that I know. And he knocked the Buddhist monk down to the ground with one single punch. And then the master said to the student, "Look, I'm not impressed by the 10,000 punches that you have learned, but I would be very impressed if you show me one punch that you have practiced 10,000 times, because that's what will make the difference for you."
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may end on this note, because it's already 9:30.
I agree. So basically, you're going to give them as a challenge, actually, for those who are watching us and even they're not planning to join us from Monday. If you take this, if you implement this, just do one of the thing or one of the challenges we had this week so far. But the breathing, implement and see the difference. Okay.
Exactly. That would be a very nice challenge, and I would love to read the comments in the Facebook group. Let's summarize now the tool. When you feel that you don't feel okay, you don't like how you feel, just do the breathing at least 4 or 5 times, for breathing at the count of 4 and exhaling at the count of 4. And when you have done it, then look for the pattern of inadequacy that has put you into this difficult emotion. We're going to talk about it more next Saturday, emotional intelligence and how to cope with this. But and tell yourself the same thing that you would have told a friend that was feeling the same thing like you in that very moment. For example, you screwed up again. How many times? What would you say to a friend? You say, "Come on, silly Billy, you can do better. Let's try again." Become your best friend. Use this breathing technique to turn the moment around. Work with one single moment at one single time.
Yeah. Exactly. Take this punch and be the master of it. Okay. For those, I want to make announcement, and this announcement is next Friday. We're going to make a party in Pafos. Okay. I will create a post after in the group, and for those who are interested, let's contact me, and we're going to create a closed group. So all the details they're going to be there. As I say, Global Money Community is not just a program; it's a lifestyle, and I'm very happy to have a friends, which we are gathering every week. We challenge ourselves. We talk about our challenges and what is on our way, why we didn't do what actually we wanted to do and we were planning. So this is Global Money Community, guys.
Yeah, Krasimir, I just read 2 comments. Let me answer to them. Astrid, congratulations. I meditate every day since April. Well, that's awesome. That means you are on a good road to establish a new habit, a new neural pathway, and just continue. It's excellent, and maybe that's one of the benefits that people have when they join the Facebook community, because we support and we encourage, and
Yeah.
you have to do it, of course, but it's easier to do in a community. Mary, I fail to meditate. Mary, you don't fail to meditate. In fact, you have a considerable success with already having the experience of what it is to meditate. All that you need to do now is just to make it more often. That's how a friend would say to a friend. You wouldn't say to a friend, "You fail, you don't meditate." You say, "Oh, how wonderful it is that you have started and you already have the first experience with it. How lovely it would be to just continue." Okay, that's from me. Thank you so much for that
Yes.
opportunity. Yeah,
You're more than welcome. It's always pleasure to talk to you.
it's always
And
a pleasure to be with you.
Krasimira and Krasimira, it's
Yes,
great combination.
yeah. Sabina, I
Bef-
stopped to meditate for a while starting my new job. That's perfectly okay. What would you say to a friend that tells you the same? Well, that's understandable. A new job is a challenge, but what what would be the most affectionate, the most kind way to respond? Ask yourself, what will be the most supportive way to respond? Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Okay. Sessions, yeah, lots of love from Germany too to Cyprus.
Yeah. Okay, before to finish, I would like to put our video, which is representing who is going to be participating in this, who is going to be the coaches. And I'm gonna post the link again for those who
Okay.
want to be a members. Thank you.
See you.
See you.